Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. How do Anna Hazare's closest supporters view the controversy surrounding the Bhushans? That's the key issue I shall discuss today with Swami Agnivesh. Swami Agnivesh, let me start with a simple question. Are the Bhushans the Achilles heel, the weak link in the Anna Hazare movement?
I would put it the other way around. They are the strongest link because when we had started this whole process nearly 8 months ago, it was Shanti Bhushan and Prashant Bhushan who came forward to draft the bill together with Justice Santosh Hegde and Arvind Kejriwal. And their legal acumen and all of those things have served us so well, can't tell you.
They may be the strongest link in terms of legal acumen, but in terms of moral positioning, are they the Achilles heel and weak link today?
I would not say that even because all of these things which are being unearthed today relate to years and years back. Like 1966, the land they purchased in Allahabad.
But does it matter if they relate to things that are a long time ago? Is morality whitewashed because it happened somewhere in the past?
No, that's not the question. You can't dig up things and bring them and time them just on the eve of the first meeting which is taking place together with the other cabinet ministers.
Let me quote to you what Anna Hazare wrote to Sonia Gandhi on April the 18th. I am of the view that the people working for the public must be subjected to public scrutiny. How does public scrutiny happen if you don't go back into the past and look at their track record? This is exactly what Anna Hazare wanted. This is exactly what's happening, and the faults are appearing.
No, definitely everybody needs to be scrutinized, but the question is, should they remain on the committee or not? That's the basic question. On that I'm saying we find them indispensable, we find them to be the strongest link in this whole thing, and we think that they are going to stay with full authority and full force.
Let me quote to you what Justice Hegde told the Indian Express. He says, Shanti Bhushan is not irreplaceable. He differs with you when you say they're indispensable. He says Shanti Bhushan is not irreplaceable.
Well, that may be his view. And nobody is in that sense irreplaceable. No doubt about it. But looking at the track record of Shanti Bhushan himself, who has been once upon, long time ago, India's law minister and a leading lawyer in the Supreme Court of India, and the energy he has put into this drafting process and debating across the country with leading lawyers and social activists, convincing them of deterrent legislation. So all of that stands in such a good state today that we can't do without him.
You say let's look at the track record of Shanti Bhushan, let's look at the track record of the Bhushans, and let's start with the farmland they acquired in Noida. Shanti Bhushan himself admits, and I want to quote, I agree there is no transparency in the scheme and allotments have been made without any clear criterion. Then he adds, I have heard that bribes have passed hands for these allotments. Why then do the Bhushans not themselves voluntarily opt out? Is it fitting that people who are considered crusaders against corruption should continue to benefit from schemes which they themselves admit are unfair, improper and wrong?
No, as a matter of fact, he has come out very clean and clear that this was not from the discretionary quota of the Chief Minister.
And I'm not saying it was either,
no, okay.
But he's admitting that this was untransparent, that the allotments were made without criteria, and he suspects bribes were paid.
He says, and he insists rather, that if there is any discrepancy in the procedure, let the allotment be cancelled.
But why say let the allotment be cancelled, leaving the onus on others? Why not take the onus on yourself and say, I'll opt out? The honest people say, there's something wrong with this scheme, I'll opt out. People who want to benefit but not make a sacrifice say, औरों को cancel करने दो. Why leave it on others? Cancel it yourself.
मुझे इतना कहना है करण जी कि इस मौके पर इन चीज़ों को जिस तरीके से उठाया जा रहा है टू मेलाइन शांति भूषण, चूँकि वो आज उस कमेटी पे आए हैं, यदि कमेटी पे नहीं आए होते तो किसी ने ये मुद्दे नहीं उठाने थे. That's my problem.
But what's wrong
with that? The way the people are trying to sort of target him, that's something is, you know, it's very sickening.
Swami Sahib, the reason today the scrutiny is happening,
yes,
you call it targeting, I call it scrutiny, is because people like the Bhushans have put themselves on a pedestal as crusaders against corruption. Because they've taken that position, others are scrutinizing the record to see whether it's clean. And they suddenly discovered that on this critical issue of land, the Bhushans admit the scheme is wrong and improper, but they won't opt out. They're leaving it to others to cancel it, which is very strange.
How is that going to, in any case, affect the drafting of a legislation? Tell me.
It's not the drafting of the legislation it will affect, it's the image of the committee, it's the image of the movement, it's the image of people close to Anna Hazare that it affects.
Supposing tomorrow you have to engage a lawyer in the Supreme Court of India to defend yourself, would you go into all the details of the person's character and all of those land dealings, etc., etc.? Would you do that?
Let me point out a critical...
We have engaged the topmost lawyers on behalf of the civil society.
But you haven't engaged him for legal purposes. You've engaged him as a crusader against corruption.
Yeah, that's corruption for drafting a piece of legislation.
On corruption?
On corruption,
but if his own track record raises questions, then is he the right person for that job?
No, I think he is the best person.
Okay.
Of all the 5 persons, he is the best suited to do the job.
Let me point out another concern, which is perhaps as important.
Yes.
In 2007, the Campaign for Judicial Accountability, of which Prashant Bhushan is the convener and Shanti Bhushan is a member, strongly and severely criticized former Chief Justice Sabharwal because his sons had acquired commercial land in Noida in exactly the same way. 3 years later, the Bhushans have acquired farmland in Noida in the same way through the same sort of scheme. I put it to you, that is hypocrisy, and the Bhushans should subject themselves to the same criticism they targeted Justice Sabharwal with.
Now, at that time, when they were crusading against the corruption of the former Chief Justices, nobody accused them that why should father and son duo be doing it. At that time, nobody raised this whole question of one sword, because they were risking their whole career and everything.
Hadn't arisen. They criticized Justice Sabharwal for acquiring land through an improper scheme, and yet they've acquired land through a similarly improper scheme. I put it to you, that's hypocrisy.
No. I would say, when they were crusading against corruption of the former Chief Justices, why was they not told that, look, you being father and son, you have no business doing it together like that, you know? They were risking a lot.
You're slightly deflecting the issue. I'm not objecting to the fact that they are father and son and both father and son are on the committee. That I'm not objecting to. I'm objecting to their hypocrisy
but some people
acquiring land
to that also.
In the same way that Justice Sabharwal did. They criticized Justice Sabharwal, but they're not criticizing themselves.
He is saying cancel this allotment. I mean, he has no problem with that.
And I'm saying opt out, if you're honest.
You see, I'm not here to defend Shanti Bhushan as regards his land purchase or whatever. I'm here to say that his role on the committee is something indispensable.
Can I put
Therefore, I would like to say all of these things are irrelevant, motivated, a campaign of sheer smear campaign.
You said something very important when you said, I'm not here to defend Shanti Bhushan on the purchase of land. You're also suggesting that the purchase of land is not defensible. You're clearly suggesting that.
I mean, he is competent enough to defend himself, and he has been.
Let me put something else to you. It's not just that this issue involves an element of hypocrisy. Many say it is also an example of greed. The Bhushans, by their own admission, are worth hundreds of crores. Shanti Bhushan has made that clear when he revealed his assets after he joined Anna Hazare's joint committee. Yet, they have grabbed an opportunity to make a few crore more. What message does that send out to young India?
No. You see, as a matter of fact, there have been allegations against each member of our civil society members, each members of our committee. Like Anna Hazare has been accused of a case 2005 when Justice P.B. Sawant has questioned him or alleged corruption of 2.2 lakh rupees, you know, somehow spent on some birthday celebration or something.
Can I just add one thing?
Now one Hemant,
Anna Hazare, according to Justice Sawant, has accepted and admitted to Justice Sawant that he made a mistake. Anna Hazare didn't hide from accepting and admitting a mistake. Here, the two Bhushans are not accepting hypocrisy. The two Bhushans are instead saying, let someone else cancel the scheme. I'm saying to you that crusaders against corruption should opt out voluntarily from a scheme which they admit is wrong. That's the difference.
The intention behind these allegations are very clear, Karanji. They want to derail the whole process of drafting the legislation, fighting against corruption. We want to defeat those intentions and those forces. because we don't
So
want
you're
them
questioning
to.
the motives of people who are raising questions about the Bhushans. That's all you're doing, aren't you? You're
Yes.
saying these aren't genuine questions. These
Yeah.
are questions with a motive behind them.
No, not at all. This is for a limited period with a limited mandate to draft a legislation. The work stops on 30th of June, and then everybody is free to hunt them, to find out whatsoever wrong with them, punish them if they are guilty. So there's no problem with that.
You're saying something very interesting. Don't continue with this scrutiny till the 30th of June. When the drafting is over on the 30th of June, revive the scrutiny, find them guilty and punish them. In other words, you're saying give them a reprieve till the 30th of June, then continue.
Well, I'm not saying give them a reprieve as such. I would say start the case if you have any fact, figures or case against them. We have no problem with that. But don't relate that to drafting committee. That's what I'm saying.
Swamiji, let's take a break at that point. When I come back, I want to raise a second reason why people are concerned about the Bhushans. That's in a moment's time. See you after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an interview with Swami Agnivesh. Let me come to a second issue concerning the Bhushans, the controversial CD. Prashant Bhushan has publicly accused Amar Singh of manufacturing the CD. He's gone further. He says from within the government. From within the government, people are involved. But he has no proof of this. This is just surmise. This is just guesswork. Is it proper that someone drafting a Lokpal bill to correct corruption should himself be accusing people on the basis of nothing more than suspicion?
Well, he must have some evidence. If it is brought to him, if he is asked, he will definitely produce some evidence, either circumstantial evidence or something, you know.
Any evidence so
no,
far.
no.
It's all surmise.
He is in possession of some circumstantial evidence.
Shouldn't he make it public if he has it?
Well, he will, whenever the occasion arises.
The occasion
no
has
problem
arisen.
with that.
He's cast the suspicion. Surely he should have backed it up with evidence rather than not do so.
No. This is not the stage. If the case has been filed, the FIR has been filed, and the whole case will be now processed, at the time of prosecution of all of these allegations, he will definitely come out with the evidence.
Let me put to you something else that's very worrying, the contradictions the Bhushans have tied themselves up in. Shanti Bhushan, according to the Indian Express, told the Indian Express he has never met Mulayam Singh Yadav, and yet the truth is that in
Yadav?
Yes.
Amar Singh.
Shanti Bhushan told the Indian Express that on the 16th of April, that he had never met Mulayam Singh Yadav, yet the truth is that in February 2006, Shanti Bhushan appeared for Mulayam Singh Yadav and the Samajwadi Party in writ petition number 5085. Secondly, Prashant Bhushan has said that his father has never met Amar Singh, and yet the truth emerges that only last year, his father was advising Amar Singh on his Rajya Sabha seat when Amar Singh was expelled from the Samajwadi Party. Now, how did the Bhushans get all these facts so terribly wrong?
Well, again, I would like to say, on all these issues, Bhushans, both themselves, father and son, are competent enough to defend themselves, answer all of these allegations and questions.
You're washing your hands
doubt
of
about
this, huh?
No, I'm not washing my hands. As a member of this whole sort of fight against corruption, India against corruption as we title it, we are one with them as far as their whole energy to, for this drafting committee.
Okay, you're one with them. In which case, let me put a very simple question to you. Has the time come for Shanti Bhushan to submit himself to a voice test so we can verify that the voice on the CD is his or not his? Should he submit himself to a voice test?
Well, if the court or some such other agency demands, then they will definitely give their voice sample.
Why not voluntarily?
I mean, what do you mean? I mean, to whom? To Amar Singh?
No. He can go to the state and he can say that the state laboratories can check my voice and they can tell whether this is the same or not.
Well, if their case has already been filed, and in the process, if an occasion arises, they will definitely give their voice samples. No doubt about it.
Only if an occasion arises, not that something they should do voluntarily, willingly themselves.
No, why do you expect anybody to do anything voluntarily?
Because honest people take clear steps to clear their name.
No, they have said, you can scrutinize us, you can have all sorts of evidence collected against us. we are available for all sorts of
In which
scrutiny.
case, do you think the time has come for Shanti Bhushan to explain what he meant when on the alleged CD he says, and I'm quoting, Prashant bahut acha manage karte hain? And secondly, when he says, 4 crore rupiya bahut hai, should he explain what he meant?
Look, again you are taking up the CD as the whole truth. I'm saying this whole CD is very shady. There is no author of the CD, there is no owner of the CD. Whoever the person be is such a coward person, is not coming out in the open to take up the ownership. And why did he manufacture that CD in 2006? What was the whole motive or the conspiracy behind it?
But the fact is that Shanti Bhushan is accepting that the voice is possibly his. In which case, shouldn't Shanti Bhushan explain what he meant when he said, 4 crore rupiya kafi hai, Prashant bahut acha manage karte hain?
No, I don't take this whole thing, I don't take the CD at all seriously, because this way you can malign any person anytime. This is absurd, you know.
Okay.
We are relying, you know, some of our media personnel are overworked about this CD, knowing full well that this is a shady, some shady character has manufactured it and marketed it, floated it right on the eve of the committee meeting.
Let me put
this
to you,
is the way, you know, I mean, instead of deriding such people, we are taking it something sacrosanct and something.
I let you criticize the media fully without interrupting, because I think you have a right to do so. Let me now put to you what Justice Hegde said to the Indian Express on the 21st of April. If all this would have been known earlier, people who were advising Annaji and he himself probably would not have included them, meaning the Bhushans, in the committee. If you had known this earlier, would you have agreed with Justice Hegde that the Bhushan shouldn't be included?
See, as a matter of what Justice Santosh Hegde has said, and I was participating in the same debate with him in those media interviews. What he said is that 6 months ago, when we had all come together drafting, and the public had full knowledge through the media what exercise we have been undertaking, at that time nobody came up with any of these allegations.
But if they had, then we wouldn't have included the Bhushans. Do you agree with that position?
Well, then of course there could have been some discussion about it as to who should be included or who should not be included, etc.
If this issue had come up 6 months ago, there would have been discussion about who should be included, who shouldn't. Now, 6 months later, it's too late.
No, it's not saying that it's too late. We are saying that all of these things could have been discussed 6 months ago or whenever they had surfaced, like 2006 itself when the CD...
And not now, not now.
No, this is irrelevant completely.
Let me end.
This is clear motive to derail the whole process.
Let me end by quoting...
We will be betraying the people's trust and faith.
You may be betraying the people's trust and faith by including in the committee people whose credibility in the eyes of the public is damaged.
I have been to the people myself. I've been to Ahmedabad, I've been to Ranchi, I've been to several other places, and I have sought their mandate again and again and again. And I think people are strongly behind us in our fight against corruption and for Jan Lok.
My last question, is the image of the movement launched by Anna Hazare dented or adversely affected by the controversies surrounding the Bhushans?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not a wee bit.
Okay, then let me quote to you what Anna Hazare himself said about the Bhushans when the CD story broke. He says, if he is found guilty, he deserves to be punished. I cannot give guarantees for anybody. I have just got to know Shanti Bhushan during the campaign. I can assure the public of good conduct on my part, but not someone else's. That's not a clean chit from Anna Hazare to the Bhushans.
It's very clean chit.
It's not a clean chit at all.
He's being very honest. He's saying, I didn't know him before. I knew him only in the course of
and I can't give guarantees.
Movement.
And I can't give guarantees.
How can he give guarantee about something happened 2006 or 1966? How can he give guarantee?
Then on the principle that Caesar's wife should be above suspicion, shouldn't Anna Hazare's nominees be above suspicion also?
No. I'm saying, how can Shanti Bhushan give guarantee for other members? Or can you give me guarantee about anything else?
But when suspicion arises,
he is being very honest.
My last question.
Very simple in saying.
When Anna Hazare raised questions about Sharad Pawar, he immediately resigned from the GOM. Shouldn't that example be followed by the Bhushans?
As a matter of fact, I was sitting on the dais when this whole question was put to him. He said, why doesn't he resign from his ministership?
Well, he didn't, but he resigned from the GOM.
No.
Why don't the Bhushans follow that example? Why don't the Bhushans follow that example?
No. You see, this is not the question. We are here to draft a legislation which will ultimately fight corruption tooth and nail in this country.
Okay.
That is our goal. That is our task. That is our mandate. And we are going to live up to that mandate. We will fight against corruption at every level, even after this bill has been legislated and made into a law. If there is corruption charges against any of the members of the civil society who are on the committee, we will fight against those corruption charges.
Including the Bhushans?
Including the Bhushans.
I'll let you have the last word. A pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you.